Hi, my name is Jen and I'm a librarian here at Harper. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about creating an annotated bibliography, including what it is and the steps you will take to create one and, some tips about how to do it most effectively. This is a common assignment that you might get at Harper, either in advance of writing an essay or doing some kind of project, but sometimes you might just create an annotated bibliography on its own. So let's talk about what it is. The part that you might not be as familiar with is the annotation, which is a commentary on each source, and it should include a summary as well as some evaluation of that source in the context of your project. And then the bibliography part you've probably heard of before. That is a list of the sources you used for a project in a specific citation style that might include MLA or APA or AMA or other kinds of styles that are out there. Your professor should let you know which citation style you're supposed to be using. So put that together, you have, a list of your sources that you provide a summary and evaluation of. Why is it a useful tool? Well, one, it helps you remember what your sources are about because you have to really think deeply about them to write those annotations. Turning it in can help your instructor gauge your progress and make sure you're heading in the right direction for the assignment that you have to do. And then hopefully all of that extra work in advance leads to a better end product, whether you're writing an essay or giving a speech or something like that. What goes into the entry? Well, like I mentioned, a properly formatted citation. So again, it's really important that this is a correctly made citation. That means not simply pasting in a URL or just listing the name of something. You need to have it formatted in a correct citation. There is lots of citation help out there through the library as well as some other options we'll talk about at the end. Make sure you get help if you don't know how to create citations. Here is an example of a citation in APA style, but again, yours may look a little different depending on what style you're required to use. Next, you would have the summary of the source. You'll notice in this example, there are just a few sentences. This summary should not be long. You need to really think carefully about the main points of your source and summarize that briefly. So you just want to hit the highlights, not go into every single detail. And then next comes the evaluation or commentary. Again, we're talking short. Usually annotations are only a handful of sentences at most. Your instructor might have different requirements for you, so make sure you read the assignment directions, but most of the time it's pretty short. So you want to keep it to the highlights. What is most important about this source? How might I use it in my essay or project? What are the strengths and weaknesses of the source? That kind of thing is what would go in the evaluation and commentary. Put it all together and it looks something like this. The citation will be at the top and then the annotation underneath, generally indented like this. How do you make one? Well, the first step is find some sources. If you don't know how to do, college level research, make sure you reach out to the library. We are happy to help you find the sources you need. Then start by reading the abstract or the back cover, if there is one. If you're using an internet source, there might not be, but take a look, kind of skim the source. The goal is to make some quick assessments about whether it looks like a source that might be useful. If it is, then put it to the side and save it. So save those citations immediately. In particular, library databases offer citations formatted already for you in the database. So once you find a source that you might want to explore, put that citation aside. I generally recommend copying it and pasting it into a document that you just keep a running list going of the citations. If it's on the internet, make sure you use a citation generator or something to grab that citation right away. That's going to make your life a lot easier later. Then once you have a list of potential sources, go back and start reading. So start with the first one. You might even need to read it multiple times. That's a key of writing an annotation is you have to understand the source. So do what you have to do to make sure you thoroughly understand the source. If you decide you do want to include it, then put the source aside, close the window, flip the paper over, whatever you have to do to not look at it. and then write your summary and your commentary without looking at the source. The reason for that is you want the annotation to be in your own words, not copied from the source itself. And it's much easier to make sure the words are your own when you are not looking at the source. When you're done with the writing, then you can go back and check the details and make sure that you got the facts correct, so that you included everything you want to include, make sure you didn't accidentally plagiarize anything. And then just go back and repeat that process for all the sources. Notice I don't have make a citation in this list because I suggested you already do that back on the last set of steps. So you should already have those citations, and once you write the annotations, then you're all finished. You'll probably have a big chunk of your final bibliography done once you have the annotation or annotated bibliography done. Often that will be the most of what you end up using in your final paper if you're writing one. But it's not the last word. You might change your ideas about your sources. You might find new sources. You might decide some of the sources you put in your bibliography aren't useful once you start writing your essay. That's okay. Annotated bibliography is not meant to be the final bibliography that you turn in at the end of class. It's a step in the process. If you have more questions, make sure you reach out to the library. We have chat, email, we have phone calls. You can stop by the library. You can make a research appointment with us. Those are all options listed on the library website if you just Google Harper College Library. The Writing Center can also be really helpful for creating annotated bibliographies. They can help you make sure that your writing is the best it can be. Good luck with your bibliographies.